to talk about the things I didn't like in Greece. And mind you that there was a lot that I did like, and I probably forgot some. And I hope I remember at the end to add it. But for now, we're going to talk about things that I didn't like in Greece. And number one on my list was academics. So like I said, I studied in Greece for a month, and I took a statistics class, and the other class was an operating systems class. And I would say the overall experience, I rate it, a 2 out of 5. So, academics were very hard in Greece, and not just because of the slight language barrier, but because it was just something, the structure of their academics were just something that I wasn't used to. Their grading system was really different. I'm sure that's like the same for someone sitting in Italy and Germany or anywhere. It's going to be different, and that's something that you have to be aware of. But I will say I struggled in these classes, and I don't think they were hard. Like the subject of the classes were actually hard. It was just the setup of the class was very hard, and I just didn't enjoy it. My operating systems class, I didn't enjoy it either. My major is information systems. I'm in the major for a reason, but I just did not like this class. And if I would do it again, I would choose an easier class. I don't know. I did not like the academics here. And I will say another thing that got on my nerves was that I was the only person who would come on time. And I'm not always on time for like certain things, but like at least like in another country, I'm thinking, let me come to class on time. And I remember the first day of class, I was the only person sitting there, and the teacher came about 20 minutes late. And there was even if the whole class came, there was always that one student that came like an hour late to class, like every single day. And I was just kind of like, at first it didn't bother me, but then I was like, the professor's doing this too, so it's like, how serious do they really take it? I don't know. In America, it's usually a good 4 people who are late, and they walk in late, and it's not even that big of a deal. It's 4 to 10 minutes late. But in Greece, it was literally like on average 20, and then 40, and then you still have people walking in after an hour looking for a seat, and you're just like, you missed most of the class. What's the point of coming now? Like little things like that didn't bother me at first, but I was just always, if I came even like 5 minutes late, I was literally like, there would be 2 people in the classroom, and that's one thing that kind of got on my nerves. So yeah, apart from academics and that, I would say the professors were okay, but I don't know, I just didn't enjoy. I wish I could take the study out of study abroad. That's just how I feel about it. And yeah, I would like to move on. I'm getting angry. Another thing that I thought was backwards was for exams, we had to use, specifically for my stats class, we had to use a pen for our math exam. And in America, we're thinking like, don't use a pen when you're taking a math exam, because if you make a mistake, you need to erase it with a pencil. But they're thinking, no, you need to use a pen so that it's permanent on the paper, and when you get your grades back, you're not changing it, so the professor thinks that they need to change your grade. Like, which one's more important? And making a bunch of scratches on your paper to the point where you can't even see what I'm writing, or like that, And so that was just kind of backwards to me. Like, math, use a pencil. Even though I hate pencils, like I like using pens more. I would say that, I don't know, that was just backwards, and I couldn't get over that. Another thing I didn't like was that I left for study abroad after finals at my home university. And I go to VCU, which is Virginia Commonwealth University. And a week after, right after finals, I had to leave for study abroad. And so my mind was telling me, no, you're going to be in summer mode. And then I study abroad, and most of the things I want to do does not involve studying. So that was really hard, and I didn't like that. I didn't like that I had to push myself even harder just because it's summer and I didn't really want to be doing work, especially at the rigor of what it was. What was another thing? Another thing was the driving. So let's just get this straight. Greek people can't drive. Like, I'm sure that's, how it is for other people. May say that about other cultures and other, types of people. I know, they say New York drivers can't drive, but Greek people can't drive. And one of the things I witnessed there was a graphic motorcycle accident of a car hitting a cyclist, and the person flipping over and not being able to get up. Stuff like that was just kind of it could have been avoided. They don't need to drive like that, but they do. I don't know who's distributing the licenses. I don't know. It's just they would drive in the middle of the lines. It's just I wouldn't drive. Like if you're gonna travel to Greece, try to invest in a cab. Do not drive here. Just don't do it, because it's just not going to be worth it. And you want to be safe. If you're from here, it's fine. But if you're, from somewhere else, try to just stick to cabs, subways, and public transportation, because it was just no joke. They can't drive. I don't know how to say it. Going into driving, speaking of the topic of driving, I remember the day that I went to the beach with a couple of people, and we decided to take a cab and split the fare. And another thing that you have to be careful of when you travel or study abroad or whatever is that cab drivers could take advantage of you. And that's exactly what they did to us. What was supposed to be a 40-minute trip to the beach. Okay, tell me why we were driving for an hour. We were there in the car for an hour. I'm trying to figure out, okay, the GPS says 40 minutes. Why are we in this cab for an hour? And I'm pretty sure the driver took the longest route just so that he could get more money. And they know that if you're not from there, it's you can't really argue, oh, well, I know where I'm going. Because really and truly, we don't. We don't know where we're going. And so a lot of cab drivers will take advantage of that. So you have to be careful. And if you need to use your GPS, in the seat next to the driver, maybe you can say something hey, I think you need to make a left here. I think you need to stop going in circles, something like that, so that you don't have to end up paying too much just to go to the beach. So yeah, that was kind of annoying. I really didn't like that they took advantage of us like that, but what are you gonna do, Another thing was the coffee shops. So here I work at Starbucks, and anywhere I go, I critique coffee. I'm not a huge coffee fan. I can live without coffee, but I do enjoy it sometimes. And from what I critiqued, I just wasn't that impressed with their coffee. It was a very muddy looking substance. And their cappuccinos were they're very strong. I'm sure if you're a strong coffee lover, you would like it. But in terms of flavor and in terms of the actual drink that they would make for you, it just wasn't good. No matter what I got, it just wasn't all that. Italy, on another hand, when I visited Italy as well, everything was on point. But for some reason, the coffee here was I just was not impressed. However, I was impressed with their Starbucks. There was an on-campus Starbucks in Greece, and I was very impressed with, the things that they had. I was impressed with that, but in terms of their authentic coffee shops, which I noticed they also smoked, and, I feel like you shouldn't smoke in a coffee shop, but that's something that they do there. I don't think it's just Greece. I think they do that in other European countries, where people will just chill inside a coffee shop and smoke. And honestly, it's not good for the espresso. It's not. And I don't know, there's not much I can say about that. You're just not supposed to be smoking in a coffee shop, but what do I know? The number one thing that was like a dramatic like wave of sadness for me was that I lost my GoPro. And I know in my things I liked video, well, things I liked increment of the video, I talked about how I went to Aegina Island and it was like the highlight of my trip. But that was also the same place where I lost my GoPro. And okay, so I guess I have to tell the whole story then. Should I tell the whole story? I'll tell the whole story. Okay, so my friend wanted to get ice cream, but I really didn't want to get ice cream. And I ended up going to some kiosk place where they had like ice cream inside something, which they also sell other things in that area. And the person didn't take card. Like I wanted to use my debit card because I was running out of euros. And that will happen when you study abroad. You will run out of euros, so you need to be prepared for that. But anyway, I wanted to use my debit card and they couldn't process it. So the lady said, okay, well I can just take you across the store, like the store across, and just ring you up there. And I was like, okay. And from that gap between purchasing my ice cream and leaving to go to the bus back to Agia Pereskevi, which is where we were staying, that weird gap is where I lost my GoPro. I have no idea where it went. I don't know if it dropped. I don't know if I left it, because when I got someone to go back and check, it was not there. I don't think I dropped it, because I mean, I had the GoPro Hero Session 4 and it's a little bit bulky, and if it dropped, it's pretty noticeable that it dropped. So I'm trying to figure out, till now, I can't sleep at night, where this GoPro is, and there's no way I can get it back, because I mean, it's in Greece and I'm here. So yeah, if I did leave it, somebody probably took it. And it's just really sad. But you know, it's gonna be okay. And I had some good footage on that too. Like really good footage. But anyway, yeah, that's the list of things I didn't like. Comment anything about this video. Like it. Let me know any questions you have if you're gonna study abroad. My next increment of this video will be things I liked and didn't like at the same time. So stay tuned.